Over 2 million people live in Riverside County without a local news perspective. Until now. Spirit of Innovation, bringing you the need to know and good to know local regional county news, creating community and inspiration for business and residents. Hello, welcome to our January 2022 episode of Spirit of Innovation, our local magazine-style news and information program brought to you by nonprofit JDS Creative Academy. I'm Mia Dignan. Did you know that Riverside County is home to one of the busiest logistics industries in the country? We talk with County Supervisors Kevin Jeffries and Jeff Hewitt to find out the benefits and cost of this growing economic sector. We shine a spotlight on Michelle's Place. We also share helpful, distressing tips to help you get 2022 off on the right foot, along with need-to-know information about California's new laws, good-to-know community happenings, and more. Now for your need to know. As of this taping, Riverside County COVID cases are trending downward, and there are 6 fewer patients in ICU since Monday. However, we still must remain vigilant in following all of our COVID safety precautions. The California Department of Public Health has extended the statewide indoor masking requirement 1 month through February 15th. Also, you can now get 4 free home COVID-19 tests from the federal government. Simply go to covidtest.gov and sign up. It'll take 7 to 12 days to be delivered to your home. You can also receive 3 free N95 masks courtesy of the federal government. They will be available for pickup at pharmacies such as CVS and Walgreens by the end of this week. Did you know that 770 new California laws became effective this year? Here to help me share the Did You Know highlights of this new legislation is Spirit of Innovation reporter J.K. Weldon.
Thanks, Mia. Vote by mail is here to stay. In 2020, every registered voter in California was sent mail-in ballots as a safety measure during the COVID-19 pandemic and presidential election. Assembly Bill 37 makes that change permanent and expands it to include local elections. But don't worry, if you prefer to vote in person, you still can. While enjoying takeout food, don't forget that you will need to ask for that plastic fork or ketchup packet. A new law aimed at reducing waste of condiments and single-use silverware ensures that you take just what you need. How about a margarita to go? You can ask your bartender for another round and take it home with you. Senate Bill 389 extends the pandemic-era rules allowing takeout sales through 2026.
Sleep in, kids. Yep, you heard that right. Middle schools and high schools will soon be required to start class no earlier than 8 and 8:30 a.m. Fans of this new law say preteens and teenagers need the extra sleep for their health and their development. The new legislation will impact the 2022-23 school year. And minimum wage is bumping up. California businesses with 26 or more employees are now required to pay a minimum wage of $15 per hour, and 25 or under minimum wage is $14 per hour. The federal rate is only $7.25 an hour. How about health care in a timely fashion? SB 221 requires insurance companies to reduce wait times for substance abuse treatment and to provide timely follow-up care to patients' needs.
Senate Bill 803 trims the necessary training needed for barbers and cosmetologists to only 1,000 hours. This reduction from 1,500 hours will allow them to get to work sooner in their trade and cut down on debt costs. And if you plan on toy shopping at Target or other major retailers, they will now include a gender-neutral toy section. AB 1084 requires these stores not to specify girls versus boys toys. And composting is now a must for California residents, restaurants, and businesses. Thanks to Senate Bill 1383, you will have some time to get used to sorting organic waste products while the program rolls out in various cities. No fines will be issued until 2024.
There is a new duplex law. Senate Bill 9 makes it easier to split a property into a duplex by removing some of the previous red tape. Supporters say that this helps the state's housing crisis by adding more residential units. And good news for the ladies. Women menstrual products will mandatorily be stocked in all restrooms in public schools, grades 6 through 12, community colleges, and public universities. Those are just a few of the laws going into effect this year. We have links to more on our website. Did you know that February is National Cancer Prevention Month? In recognition of the many lives that have been impacted by cancer, Spirit of Innovation takes you to the Riverside County's only cancer resource center, and it's right here in Temecula.
Michelle's Place was created at the behest of Michelle Watson, a 26-year-old victim of breast cancer.
She was young, and she just really struggled with finding any kind of support while she was going through this devastating disease and the treatment associated with it. So she ended up going to Santa Barbara. She found a place called the Santa Barbara Breast Center. She just felt safe and comfortable, and she looked at her parents and said, "You've got to do something like this in Temecula."
Michelle passed away in July of 2000. 7 months later, her parents, along with her family and friends, came together and opened Michelle's Place in her memory.
Michelle's Place started as a breast cancer resource center.
That need grew to supporting those fighting other types of cancer.
My experience with Michelle's Place as a cancer patient was very unique in that at the time that I was diagnosed with bladder cancer, Michelle's Place was still just a breast cancer resource center.
And so people would come to us from all over needing a wig, losing their hair from chemotherapy, but they had different types: cervical cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer, lots of different cancers.
And I was at a women's luncheon, and Kim Garish was sitting across the table for me. She just said, please, even though we're breast cancer, please let us know how we can help.
We jumped in with both feet. Very fortunate. Again, this is where the community is. They're so giving. It's humbling on a regular basis how much they give. And that's the city, that's the people who live here, that's other nonprofits, it's local businesses. Everyone gives.
To meet the growing needs of the community, Michelle's Place raised over $1 million to buy a larger building where they could provide more resources and expand their services.
So there are all kinds of support groups at Michelle's Place. Some of them are cancer specific, some of them are age specific. But if they don't have a support group for you, they will create one.
Which will be exciting. We're really trying to focus more on wellness and making you feel good and giving you some tools to maybe help with symptoms or side effects of treatment and to just stay well. And we provide chemo kits and mastectomy kits to cancer patients who are about to start treatment and or have a mastectomy. We have a temporary financial assistance program. We provide grocery gift cards. We help you with utilities. And then when you're in that program, we do back to school shopping so your kids can have back to school clothes.
Michelle's Place relies heavily on volunteers to help provide free services to all who need them.
We have a huge center, so we need even more volunteers than ever. The majority of what we do here is run by volunteers. We have 110 active volunteers that work at the center.
What has been more important to me now is how I have been able to interact with Michelle's Place as a cancer survivor. Because the journey doesn't end when you're done being a patient. The cancer journey continues indefinitely through the course of your life.
We're a resource center. We aren't here to refer you to physicians or suggest treatment options. We're listening to you and trying to enable you and educate you and advocate for you to make the best choices for your journey.
Michelle's Place is definitely a shining light in our community, and that light continues to grow as we all come together in support of each other. Knowing the risk factors can greatly reduce your chances of developing cancer. Visit our website for more information on cancer prevention and early detection, and take action on your health today. Living here in Riverside County, you can't miss the large warehouses dotting the landscape, nor the increasing number of 18-wheelers on our freeways. Spirit of Innovation met with 2 Riverside County supervisors with 2 different points of view. on the benefits and the challenges that the logistics industry brings to our area.
The logistics industry involves obtaining, producing, and distributing goods and materials. In Riverside County, it's growing at an exponential rate with an estimated 40% of the nation's goods coming through the region. This is why we're seeing fleets of trucks on our roads and the construction of huge mega warehouses.
The reasons why Riverside County, and along with it, San Bernardino County, has become the logistics center of the world, not just the United States, is because as we've seen the transition from brick and mortar stores to, it started back with a little company called Amazon that sold books and now has become, the biggest company in the world in that sense. We have things called fulfillment centers, and fulfillment centers are just basically warehouses. Riverside County, they have like 28 million people within an hour's drive. So you've got this huge population center that it serves, but also property out here is a fraction of the cost of coastal counties. And of course, we have two of the largest ports in the world in San Pedro and Long Beach. And we have a labor source too. People can say that we have a lower level than some of the other California counties of college educations. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, a lot of these jobs actually pay fairly well. In the Great Recession, starting in 2007, going on certainly through 2011, we would have had a really tough time even getting out of it if it hadn't been for the logistics industry coming in and providing so many new jobs. There's an old saying, the best thing for any city to have in it is a car dealership because of all that sales tax. But I'll tell you what, a fulfillment center is right up there with a car dealer as far as generating sales tax. And that directly goes to the things that we ask of our government, and that's, public safety, street maintenance, new infrastructure.
District 1 Supervisor Kevin Jeffries looks at the growth of the logistics industry with a different perspective.
So all these communities that are basically right next to a freeway or freeways, that's where the warehouses want to be. And so we've seen this massive growth. Look, we're going to have some warehouses where we have to because of the nature of how we order things. But for Riverside County, we don't have to be ground zero for warehouses. I apologize to those in the industry, but it's a necessary evil to support what we want to do. But we don't have to be the warehouse for everybody else in Southern California. And that's what I fear Riverside County's become. The downsides are really the tractor trailer rigs that occupy our roads and our freeways. That's really the biggest single downside for residents passing through, is getting stuck behind tractor trailer rigs. And then, the other issues that follow are the air quality impacts of big tractor trailer rigs. Yes, there's lots of regulations now and lots of clean engine requirements, and that will all be better. There's no doubt about that, but we're not there yet. If you're a nearby neighbor, you once had great views, you had open lands, you had no lights, and now all of a sudden you've got all of that.
Supervisor Jeffries authorized the policy to protect the affected residential areas.
But the good neighbor policy is just what it says. How to be a good neighbor, how to respect your neighbors. The biggest emphasis being distance, making sure that a residence, the single family home, is far enough away from the structure and the operation of the tractor trailer rigs. And sometimes these facilities are just too close. And so then we get into negotiations as to, you're going to have to drop a bay or two. You're going to have to put up sound walls to prevent noise from carrying over. Or conversely, maybe you need to go talk to the neighbor and buy them out and buy their property. And they incorporate the property into their development, and that particular issue goes away.
As the logistics sector continues to grow, it's good to know our county supervisors are keeping an eye on the economic and quality of life.
So, what do you think of the growth of the logistics industry in Riverside County? Has it impacted you in any way? We would like to hear about it. Find us on social media using the hashtag JDSFamily and send a DM. Now it's time for our Good to Know, where we talk about community events, heartwarming news, and just general good to know topics and information. Here's JDS Creative Academy intern Erin Porras to start us off.
Thanks, Mia. It's the new year, which means a new mayor for the city of Temecula. Matt Ron stepped into that role for the second time at the beginning of this month. His key issue includes public safety, economic growth, and recovery. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders is looking for a more dedicated team member. They're looking for more dedicated team members to work at their treatment centers. Apply at the website on your screen. The Red Cross currently has the worst blood shortage in over a decade and urgently needs blood donors. The city of Temecula will be hosting a blood drive on February 1st at the Temecula City Hall Conference Center. You must make an appointment before donating. You can also make a blood donation at any time at LifeStream's Marietta Donor Center, and if you donate between now and February 28th, you'll receive a new branded t-shirt.
Congratulations to Loma Linda University Health Hospitals, which include the Loma Linda Medical Center in Murrieta, for receiving the Get With the Guidelines Resuscitation and Stroke Quality Achievement Awards. These American Heart and Stroke Association's awards designate the hospitals as exemplary in their high standards of care. The pandemic has created hardships for people all over, and Riverside County has programs to help. If you or someone you know is at risk of becoming homeless, check out Home Connect, which offers resources, housing navigation, and community assistance referrals. And those needing help paying utility bills can connect with the county's Community Action Partnership, also known as CAP Riverside. Their income-based utility assistance programs can offset steep bills.
We're heading into tax season, and CAP Riverside has that covered too. They host the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which provides free tax preparation for low to moderate income families. They also need volunteer tax preparers. Contact CAP Riverside to help out. Trauma Intervention Programs Incorporated also need volunteers to provide emotional support to victims of traumatic events. Their training classes start February 16th at the KPC Global Medical Center in Menifee. Summer will be here before we know it, and with that comes job opportunities to work as a lifeguard. Obtaining a Red Cross certification is the first step, and the city of Temecula offers classes. The next session starts February 18th. DigiFest Temecula 2022 is in full preparation for the 6th annual 3-day festival, conference, and competition. Dates are locked in for April 2022. DigiFest Temecula is currently accepting submission entries for the 2022 Digital Media Competition. Check this out to find out more.
Submissions for DigiFest are now open. Early deadline is January 28th, 2022, and our late deadline is March 25th. Turn in something you created or go out and create something new. Visit www.digifesttemecula.org for more info.
We have top industry judges evaluating DigiFest submissions. They include animator and artist Von Fan, whose work has been seen in Aquaman and Harry Potter films, an Emmy-nominated director, producer, and a film development executive who's worked with Mel Brooks and Spike Lee. So get those entries in. Over to you, Mia.
Thanks, Erin. There's always so much happening here at JDS Studios. JDS Creative Academy kicks off their visual and performing arts classes this week. It's not too late to join in on the fun. We have fashion and backstage production on Wednesdays, and then script writing classes start back up on Monday, January 31st. Check this out. Yes, Sharks and Jets musical theater auditions for West Side Story is happening right here tonight at 5 p.m. Here's more. If you can join us this week, don't worry. New students can begin anytime over the next few weeks. At the start of the new year, we often find ourselves making resolutions to bring positive changes in our lives. Last month, Spirit of Innovation brought you tips on how to declutter around the home. Now it's time to focus on reducing the mental clutter caused by stress. This month, I talked with a therapist and also a life coach who offer valuable insight and solutions. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, surveys have reported a growing number of adults in the U.S. experiencing symptoms of stress.
Studies have shown that a lot of negative psychological effects are affecting everyone, from PTSD, confusion, anger. With this pandemic, being quarantined makes it very stressful for people. They can't go out. Sometimes that fear of infection or infecting others. Also frustration, boredom, inadequate supply. You know, we go to Sam's Club, Costco, and there's nothing there. The also too is the inadequate finances, because if we've lost our job because of the pandemic, we might be stressed out because of that.
Too much stress hurts us both physically and mentally.
It causes hypertension, headaches. There's a lot of things that it affects our body. A lot of times it affects our sleep. We'll be more tired. You might be forgetful. It causes emotional problems with relationships. You might even want to increase alcohol or drug use just to feel that relaxing. It can increase panic attacks that you might not never had before. It can increase our worry, or even just making us have bad decision-making skills.
The key to turning things around is learning good stress management.
One of the most important ways is to live in the moment. When you are overthinking things and worrying about the future, it's going to be stressful, just those unknowns. So focusing on now and spending your thoughts on solutions rather than the problems. I definitely think it's important to talk to somebody, but not somebody that's going to just buy into the drama. You know, somebody that's a calm voice that will help you. But also, I'm a big believer in journaling. Getting your feelings out, I think, is very important. I think eating healthy is, makes a big difference. Reducing sugar, reducing caffeine, and exercise is huge. One thing that I'm very big on is simplification, making everything simple. I think it's just going out your front door, going for a walk, finding a local church, maybe a local dog shelter, somewhere where you can be with some animals, or a park or something like that. My favorite app that I use daily is the Calm app. And I love that app because there's daily calm. So every single day they have something different. They also have music. They have sleep stories. YouTube has beautiful things on it as well. Just listening to the sound of the ocean or raindrops, things like that. Simple.
2022 doesn't have to be stressful. Focusing on the simple solutions that work for you will make sure your new year starts off right. Those are some great tips. Check out our website for links to more stress-busting resources. Thank you to all of our viewers for joining us for this episode of Spirit of Innovation. You can find Spirit of Innovation on Rivco TV, local Murrieta and Temecula stations, and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on social media using the hashtag JDSFamily to keep up with everything that's happening here in the studio and in Riverside County. Kudos out to JDS Creative Academy founder Diane Strand. She was named chair of Temecula's State of the City Committee. We also want to thank the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce for their nomination of JDS Video and Media Productions for Business of the Year, and also JDS Creative Academy's nomination for Nonprofit of the Year. Congratulations to my #JDSFamily, and fingers crossed we win. Don't miss the SOI training crew on radio station 102.5 The Vine, 7 days a week with the JDS Creative Academy Community Spotlight. You can also catch the SOI crew live streaming episodes of the SOI Update and co-hosting our new podcast, SOI Talk. It's coming out soon. Our next Spirit of Innovation episode drops February 24th. Until then, SOI out.